Chapter 1. Ed Sheeran was born in a small town in England. He was a quiet boy with red hair and a big dream. Ed loved music. He loved the sound of the guitar. He loved singing songs. Even as a little boy, Ed knew he wanted to be a singer. When Ed was young, he had problems in school. He did not talk much. He felt shy and different. Some kids laughed at him, but Ed did not stop dreaming. He found his love in music. His parents saw this. They gave him a guitar. It was a small guitar, but Ed loved it very much. Every day, Ed played the guitar. He made up songs. He sang about his day, his dreams, and his feelings. His room was full of music. Ed did not have many friends, but music was always with him. At school, Ed was not the best student. He had trouble reading and writing, but he never gave up. He worked hard and kept playing music. His teachers saw that he was special. They told him to keep playing. Ed's father took him to music shows. They watched singers play live music. Ed watched closely. He saw how singers stood on stage. He saw how people clapped and smiled. Ed said, "One day I will be on that stage too." When Ed was a teenager, he started to play on the street. He stood on the corner with his guitar. He sang for anyone who would listen. Some people walked by, some people stopped to hear. Ed did not make much money, but he felt happy. Music gave him hope. At night, Ed went home and wrote more songs. He used simple words. He sang about life. He sang about love and pain. His songs were honest. People started to like them. Ed also posted his songs on the internet. He made small videos of his singing. He shared them on websites. More and more people began to listen. Some left nice comments. This made Ed smile. He felt strong. He felt seen. But life was not easy. Ed had no money. He slept on friends' sofas. Sometimes he had no place to go. But he always had his guitar. He said, "I will not stop. I will sing every day. One day people will know my name." He played at small shows. He sang in bars and parks. He traveled by bus. He met many people. Some liked him, some did not. But Ed kept going. He believed in his dream. One day, he got a chance to open for a small concert. He sang before the big star came. People listened. They clapped. Ed felt proud. He said, "This is just the start." He made more videos. He wrote more songs. His voice grew stronger. His name began to spread. People said, "This red-haired boy can sing." Ed was still poor. He still had no home. But he had music. He had hope. He knew the world would hear his voice. And so he sang louder. He sang with heart. This was only the beginning of Ed's journey. He was ready for more. He was ready to chase his big dream. Chapter 2. Ed woke up to the sound of rain. It was cold and wet outside. He looked at the small window of the hostel room. Drops of rain were running down the glass, but Ed smiled. He had his guitar and he had a plan. Today he would go out again. He would sing even if it rained. He wore 2 jackets to stay warm. He covered his guitar with a plastic bag. Then he walked to a busy street. The people were walking fast with umbrellas. Cars splashed water on the road. Still, Ed found a dry spot under a shop. He opened his guitar case and started to play. At first, no one stopped. People were in a hurry. Some looked at him and smiled, others passed by. Ed did not stop. His fingers were cold, but his voice was warm. He sang songs from his heart. He sang about love, dreams, and hope. Slowly, some people started to gather. A little girl dropped a coin. An old man nodded and said, "You sing well." Hours passed. Ed was tired but happy. He counted his coins. It was not much, but it was enough for dinner. He walked to a small cafe and bought hot soup. The warmth made him feel good. He thought, "One day many people will hear me. One day I will be on a big stage." That night, Ed went back to the hostel. He dried his clothes and cleaned his guitar. Then he wrote a new song. It was about the rain, the street, and the people who listened. He sang it softly to himself. He believed in his dream. He believed that music could change his life. The next day, the sun was shining. Ed smiled again. He went to another street. He played the new song. More people stopped. A woman recorded him on her phone. A man asked, "Do you have a CD?" Ed said no, but he was happy. People were listening. They liked his music. Weeks went by. Ed played in many places, parks, stations, and markets. Every day he met new people. Some gave him food, some gave him coins. One day a man gave him a note. It said, "You are very good. Come to the studio. Let's talk." Ed was surprised. He went to the address on the note. It was a music studio. Inside, a man named Jake greeted him. Jake said, "I heard you sing. You have something special. Would you like to record a song here?" Ed could not believe it. He said yes. He played his best song. Jake recorded it. He added some music. Then he gave Ed a CD. "You can give this to people," Jake said. Ed was so thankful. Now Ed had something to show. He gave the CD to people who liked his music. One woman sent it to a radio station. One day, Ed heard his own song on the radio. He jumped with joy. He shouted, "That's my song." Calls came in. People asked, "Yeah, who is this boy?" Some wanted to meet him. Some wanted him to sing in small shows. Ed was nervous, but he said yes. He sang in coffee shops and small clubs. The lights were bright. The people clapped. He felt alive. One night after a show, a music manager came to him. She said, "I like your voice. Let's work together. I can help you grow." Ed smiled. He was still just a boy with a guitar, but now people were starting to see his light. Every night he wrote new songs. Every day he practiced. He saved money from the shows. He bought better clothes. He even helped other street singers. He said to them, "Don't give up. Keep playing. People will hear you." Ed still remembered the rain. He still remembered the cold streets. But now things were changing. Slowly, his dream was coming true. He knew the road was long, but he was not afraid. He had music, and he had heart. He told himself, "This is just the start. The world is big. One day I will sing on the world stage. And with that hope, he played one more song under the city lights while people smiled and listened. Chapter 3. Ed was now in London. The big city was noisy and fast, but Ed had only one goal. He wanted people to hear his songs. He wanted the world to know his voice. He started singing on the streets. He sang in parks. He sang near train stations. People passed by, some stopped, some smiled. Some gave him coins, some just walked away. Ed did not stop. He sang every day. His guitar was old, but it was his best friend. His clothes were simple. His shoes had holes. He had no big house. Sometimes he had no bed. He slept on friends' floors. He slept in small rooms. Sometimes he had no food, but he always had hope. One day he met a kind man. The man heard Ed sing. He smiled. He said, "You are good." Ed said, "Thank you." The man asked, "Do you have more songs?" Ed said, "Yes, many." The man gave Ed a card. It had a name. It had a phone number. The man said, "Call me. I can help." Ed was happy. He called the man. The man was a music producer. He had a small studio. He invited Ed. Ed went there. He sang for the man. The man liked his voice. He said, "Let's make some songs together." Ed started recording songs. The studio was small, but it felt big to Ed. It felt like a dream. He wrote songs every day. He sang with all his heart. The man helped him. He gave advice. He fixed sounds. He made the songs better. One of the songs was called The A-Team. It was about a girl who had a hard life. Ed sang with feeling. The song was strong. The words were real. The music was soft but deep. The producer loved it. He said, "This is a great song." Ed and the man put the song online. They shared it on YouTube. They posted it on music websites. People listened. People shared it. People cried. They said, "Who is this boy?" They wanted to hear more. Ed smiled, but he was not done. He made more songs. He made a small album. He called it an EP. He sold it at his shows. He gave it to people. He said, "Please listen." One day a big singer heard Ed's songs. His name was Example. He was famous in the UK. He called Ed. He said, "Come with me. Open my shows." Ed said, "Yes, thank you." Now Ed was singing in big places. There were lights. There were crowds. People clapped. People cheered. Ed felt nervous, but he felt happy. He thought, "I am growing. I am moving up." After the shows, he met fans. He took pictures. He said thank you. He gave hugs. He stayed kind. He stayed simple. He remembered his past. He remembered the nights on the floor. He remembered singing on the streets. Then came a big moment. A very famous person tweeted about him. It was Elton John. He wrote, "This young man is special." The tweet went viral. The world looked at Ed. Soon, big music companies came to him. They said, "We want you." But Ed was careful. He said, "I want to make my music. I want to write my songs." One company said, "We will let you be you." Ed smiled. He signed a deal. Now Ed had a team. He had people to help, but he still worked hard. He still wrote songs alone. He still played his guitar. He still sang from the heart. He went to America. He sang there. People loved him. He sang in New York. He sang in Los Angeles. He met more stars. He stayed humble. He worked more. He wrote for others. He wrote for himself. He never stopped. He said, I want to touch lives. I want to help people. I want my songs to speak. His dream was now real, but Ed was the same. The same boy with red hair, the same boy with the guitar, the same boy who once slept on floors, and this was just the start. Chapter 4. Ed Sheeran was growing, not just in age, but in dreams. He was now 18 years old. He still had red hair. He still wore the same old hoodie. But inside, something had changed. He was ready to chase his dream, not just wish for it. He packed a small bag. It had only clothes, a notebook, and his guitar. He said goodbye to his family. He hugged them tight. Then he left for London. London was big, London was loud, and London was not easy. Ed had no house, no flat. He slept on couches. Sometimes he slept on floors. And some nights he slept outside. But he did not stop. He played his guitar every day. He sang in small clubs. He sang on streets. He sang for anyone who would listen. Every day he wrote new songs. His notebook was full. His fingers were tired, but his heart was strong. People started to notice. They saw his red hair. They heard his voice. They felt his words. He met more people. Some helped, some didn't. But Ed kept moving forward. He played over 300 shows in 1 year. Sometimes 2 in 1 day. He played when he was sick. He played when he was tired. He played even when no one clapped. Because he believed in himself. One day he met a man named Jamal. Jamal made videos. He had a channel on YouTube. Ed played a song for him. Jamal recorded it. Then he uploaded it online. The video went viral. Thousands of people watched it. They shared it. They commented. They said, "Who is this boy?" Ed became a name. People started calling him for shows. He was still poor. He still slept on sofas. But now people knew who he was. Then something big happened. A singer named Example invited Ed to go on tour. Ed said yes. He packed his bag again. He took his guitar, and he went. He played in big halls now. He saw lights. He heard cheers. People sang his songs. They took photos with him. Ed felt something. He felt like he was getting closer to his dream. But he knew he still had a long way to go. Fame had not come yet. Money had not come yet. But hope was shining. A little light in the dark. After the tour, Ed came back to London. He kept writing songs. He kept recording them. But now he used his own small studio. It was not fancy, but it was his. One day, he recorded a song called The A-Team. It was soft. It was sad. It was about real life. He uploaded it. People listened. People cried. People shared it. Music companies called him. They wanted to meet him. Ed was careful. He asked questions. He took his time. Finally, he signed with a small label. They gave him space, they gave him time, and most of all, they let him be himself. He made more songs. He made an album. He called it Plus Plus. It had his heart, it had his story. When it came out, people loved it. They bought it, they played it, they sang it. Ed Sheeran was not sleeping on sofas anymore. He was on the radio. He was on TV. He was on stage. And most of all, he was in people's hearts. But Ed was not proud yet. He wanted to do more. He wanted to sing better, write better, reach more people. He remembered the hard days, the nights without beds, the clubs with no crowds, the streets with no roof. All those days made him strong. Now he was ready for the next step. He looked up at the sky, he smiled, and he whispered, "I'm not done yet." This was just the beginning. Chapter 5. Ed stood on a small stage. The lights were bright, the crowd was big. He took a deep breath. His hands shook a little, but he smiled. He was ready. Years ago, he had played on the streets. Now he played in big arenas. People knew his name. They knew his songs. They sang along with him. He was not just a boy with a guitar, he was a star. But Ed did not forget his past. He remembered sleeping on sofas. He remembered being hungry. He remembered playing for just a few coins. He remembered the hard days. Those memories made him strong. They gave him heart. Ed kept working hard. He wrote songs every day. He told his stories through music. His songs were about love, loss, dreams, and hope. People felt his music. It touched their hearts. One of his songs became very popular. It was called Thinking Out Loud. It was about love. The song played everywhere. On the radio, in shops, at weddings. Everyone loved it. Ed won many awards. He stood on big stages. He gave speeches. But he stayed humble. He thanked his fans. He thanked his team. He thanked his family. He met other big stars. He sang with them. He made friends. But he always remembered who he was. He was Ed from Halifax, the boy who played guitar on the street. Ed helped others too. He gave money to schools. He helped young musicians. He told them to dream big. He said, "If I can do it, you can too." He also spoke about hard times. He told people it's okay to feel low. He said, "You are not alone." Many people looked up to him. They felt strong because of his words. Ed's life was full now. He had a nice house, he had friends, he had love, but he still woke up early. He still picked up his guitar. He still wrote songs. Because music was his life, he traveled to many countries. He sang in front of big crowds. In every place, people knew his songs. They cheered. They cried. They smiled. His music had no borders. It reached hearts everywhere. Ed also tried new things. He acted in movies. He started his own music company. He gave chances to new artists. He wanted to help others shine. He met kids who said, "You are my hero." He smiled and said, "Thank you." He always had time for his fans. But even with all the fame, Ed stayed simple. He liked walking in the park. He liked tea with his friends. He liked quiet nights. Fame did not change his heart. He often visited his old places, the small rooms, the streets, the cafes. He remembered the journey. He felt proud. One day he stood at a school. He talked to children. He said, "Believe in yourself. Work hard. Don't give up. Dreams do come true." The kids clapped. They smiled. They believed him because Ed was proof. Now Ed had fans of all ages, kids, teens, adults, and even older people. Everyone loved his songs. Everyone felt a connection. That was Ed's magic. He wrote a book too. It was about his life. People read it. They cried. They felt hope. His story touched many lives, and still, Ed stayed true to himself. He laughed. He played. He sang. He lived with love. He once said success is not about money. It's about doing what you love. It's about touching hearts. And Ed did that every day with every song. He was not just a singer, he was a storyteller. He told stories of life, of pain, of love, of hope. And the world listened. The boy with red hair, the boy with a guitar, the boy who slept on sofas. He had become a voice for millions. Ed Sheeran showed the world that dreams are real. That talent needs hard work. That every step, every fall, every tear leads to something beautiful. His journey was not easy, but it was worth it. Because now, when Ed sings, the whole world listens.